We've reached the exact midpoint in our countdown of the Super Bowl era's most disappointing teams. 16 teams have been revealed, and after today, 16 remain. When we last left you, we were looking at the 1981 New England Patriots at number 18. Number 17 is up next, but before we get to them, let's quickly talk about C-Score. C-Score is a metric created by this channel in order to properly evaluate every single team of the Super Bowl era instead of just looking at its record. For a deeper explanation about how C-Score works, be sure to check out the description of this video. Let's quickly recap how teams make it onto this list. They start with a season that lands a positive C-score. They will then increase that C-score the next season to beyond 15. It's in that third season where their C-score drops into the negatives, with this one serving as the disappointment. The larger that drop from season 2 to season 3, the higher that disappointment will rank. The Tennessee Titans only really came into existence in 1999, having begun their lives as the Houston Oilers before being known as the Tennessee Oilers for just 2 seasons. In this third season of 2001, they will take our 17th spot. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and ding that notification bell. It really helps out the channel. Let's make our way into Nashville. After an extended period of utter mediocrity, the newly minted Tennessee Titans went on a run for the ages, finishing 13-3 and shockingly making their way through the AFC playoffs and into Super Bowl 34. Their underlying numbers are less than spectacular though, landing them a C-score of 8.406. What was spectacular, though, was that playoff run. First, trailing by 16 seconds in their wildcard game against the Buffalo Bills, they pulled off the Music City Miracle, one of the greatest plays in NFL history, winning that game. Next, they traveled to the 13-3 Indianapolis Colts and won that game 19-16. Then, in the AFC Championship game, they defeated their division rivals, the Jacksonville Jaguars, for the third time that season, sending them to the Super Bowl. They lost that game, of course, to the St. Louis Rams on the final play of the game, known as 1 yard short or the tackle, depending on your perspective. All this against the background of what we previously referred to as a period of utter mediocrity. Indeed, they went exactly 8-8 the previous 3 seasons and threw in a 7-9 record before that as well. Between 96 and 99, 4 seasons, they played their home games in 4 different stadiums in 3 different cities until Adelphia Coliseum, now known as Nissan Stadium, would be ready. With a little stability, a new name, and a new logo, they were ready to break out, and they did just that. Still, as far as 13-3 teams go, they were underwhelming, only managing a plus 68 point differential and going 7-1 in one-possession games against a very easy schedule. All that meant is that a team who lost the Super Bowl on the very last play of the game actually had plenty of room to get even better. And that's just what they did in 2000. They remained 13-3, but they did so in much more dominant fashion, increasing that point differential to plus 155, and doing so against a much more demanding schedule, if still not above average. That brought their C-score to 22.205. Leading the way was the defense. They finished second in the league in fewest points allowed, but that's deceptive. Leading the way was the historically good Baltimore Ravens. Since 1978, the season the NFL went to a 16-game schedule and changed many rules to encourage more offensive football. Only 2 teams have allowed fewer points per game. Those Ravens, and the 1986 Chicago Bears. Check out this laundry list of defenses ranked below the 2002 Tennessee Titans, 02 Bucks, 78 Steelers, the Dome Patrol 92 Saints, the 85 freaking Bears. But that's not the end of the story. The Ravens may have allowed fewer points, but it was the Titans who were the number one defense in the league, allowing 154 fewer yards than the Ravens. That's right. Considered by many the greatest single-season defense of the Super Bowl era, the 2000 Baltimore Ravens actually finished second that season to the Titans. They also finished second to Tennessee in the division. That set up an inevitable matchup between the two in the playoffs, and that came to pass in the divisional round. The season before, the Titans were the wildcard team, finishing second place in the AFC Central, going on the road to face the division champion in the playoffs. They got that win. This season, the Titans were the AFC Central champion, getting to play host to the second place team in the AFC Central. The results were the same, but the roles were reversed, with the Titans going down. The game was tied 10-10 heading into the fourth quarter. Tennessee allowed 134 yards and 6 first downs the whole game. 56 of those yards came on one play. But in the fourth quarter, Baltimore returned a blocked field goal for a touchdown, then returned an interception for a touchdown. Final score, 24-10. It was a tough way to lose, but these Titans had proven they could handle those losses and bounce back even stronger. But that's not what happened. Perhaps the totality of what transpired the previous 2 seasons, even the previous 6 seasons, weighed down too heavily on this team. They dropped to 7-9. Their offensive prowess remained similar, but most distressingly, the defense collapsed, going from third best in points allowed during a near 50-year era, down to 25th in the league just this season. Their C-score aids in the disappointment, dropping down to negative 5.946. It was never fair to expect the Titans to keep up the same kind of defensive performance in 2001 as they did in 2000. First of all, that's just too much to ask on the face of it. Wilt Chamberlain once scored 100 points in a game. He followed that up with 58, still great, but also a 42% drop-off. Second, their defensive coordinator, the now infamous Greg Williams, became the head coach in Buffalo. Third, they had many key personnel losses. Defensive end Kenny Holmes, cornerback Denard Walker, and safety Marcus Robinson all left in free agency. Their other safety, Blaine Bishop, and D-tackle John Thornton missed most of the season. That's 5 key players. The 2000 Titans had 176 defensive starts between 17 different players. Those same players combined for 96 starts in 2001, exactly 80 fewer. 80 fewer starts across 16 games? Why, that's exactly 5 players worth. And the same unit that finished first in the league in total defense the season before, ahead of the Baltimore Ravens, all the way down to 25th, perfectly mirroring their ranking in points allowed. Just a stunning collapse that doesn't quite get the recognition it might deserve. After losing only 3 games in each of the previous 2 seasons, the Titans matched that total in 2001 after just 3 games. That third loss was handed to them by, you guessed it, the Ravens. They fought hard the rest of the way, strictly alternating wins and losses between weeks 7 and 13, and even climbed back to 500 at 7-7. Then came their only other losing streak of the season, 2 in a row to end it. The first, a 3-point home loss to the Cleveland Browns, where they scored 38 points. The second, a 2-point home loss to Ohio's other team, the Cincinnati Bengals, in a game that had to be rescheduled from an original September date. Moreover, they had already beaten those 2 teams on the road earlier in the year in this, their final season altogether as division rivals, before the NFL realigned its divisions the following season. And with that, the disappointment was complete. right back to the pre-Titans era of mediocrity with another 7-9 record, finishing behind the Steelers for the 22nd time in their 32 seasons together as division rivals. And then, after the season, saying goodbye to the greatest player in franchise history, offensive lineman Bruce Matthews, who had done it all and been through it all in Houston, in Memphis, and in Nashville, both as an Oiler and as a Titan. Who knew that this next gap would be so precise? By exactly 0.3 points, the 2001 Tennessee Titans get in ahead of the 1981 Patriots with a disappointment score of negative 21.151. That gap will be even smaller when we get to our number 16 entry that had a defensive collapse of its own. Make sure you join us for the release of that video to find out who it will be. The Titans bounced back in 2002, making it to the AFC Championship game for the second time in 4 seasons. They won a playoff game in 2003 as well, and probably should have made a return trip to that title game, but, sideline magic made Drew Bennett drop the ball. They wouldn't win another playoff game until 2017, and as of early in the 2025 season, they remain in the doldrums of the league. It takes 3 seasons to qualify as a disappointment for this countdown. For the Tennessee Titans, it took only 3 seasons period under that moniker to do so. Let me know your thoughts about this Titan team, any memories you may have of the Houston Oilers, or anything else you may have on your mind right down there in the comments section below. Thank you once again for joining us today, and until next time, I hope you have an awesome day.